Yeah, they're very, very cool, and they're so appreciative over there. They just eat up country music, and especially like me being from Texas, they're like they think I ride around on a horse all the time.
So my name is Adam, and this is all about you, your journey in music, and how you got to where you are now.
Cool, very awesome.
Awesome, awesome. I did read originally from Texas, Houston area.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about
Mhm.
that. Born and raised there.
I was born in Clear Lake, and when I was 1, we moved to Houston, and then I moved to Atascocita with my parents and my sister when I was about 12 or so. I
Where's the
stayed
Atascocita? Is that fairly close to Houston, or?
Atascocita is like, northeast of Houston, so like Lake Houston area.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not too familiar. Actually, my family and I, we recently moved to Nashville, but we were looking to move to Houston. We really liked Houston.
yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of stuff to do.
It's definitely a cool area for sure. We liked it a
Yeah.
lot, at least. Big music scene where you grew up.
Yeah, I mean, Houston is huge, so I mean, there's all kinds of like different cliques and different scenes, and um, there's music for everyone here for sure.
Very cool. Are you still in Houston area?
I live in Dickinson now.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah, so south
So
of
still,
Houston.
yeah, still Texas.
Yeah,
Cool, cool.
I've I've moved around quite a bit. I lived in San Marcos for a little while, and I stayed there for about a year, and then I moved back about 2 years ago. So.
Okay. Dickinson is you said South Houston, south of Houston? Is that down
Mhm.
by what's like the tip there by the water?
Galveston?
Galveston. Yeah, is it close to there or not really?
Yeah, so it's Galveston County.
Oh, it is. That's a
Yeah,
cool area. My family and I went down there too. Wow, that's a really rad area.
yeah,
Galveston.
it's super fun. There's always something to do down here.
Sure. That's cool. So you live down that way. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's great, yeah.
That's
It's
rad.
hu
So
it's
go,
it's
go ahead.
terribly humid, but
Oh
other
yeah,
than
we've
that.
noticed that. At least we're here in Nashville, and it's bad here too. I mean, we're from San Diego, California, so it's like dry
Yeah,
heat, and then you come here, and I'm like, walk outside, I'm sweating. It's just like so
yeah, it's gross.
weird. I like it though. I don't know. It's so weird. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
But how did you get into music?
I mean, I've always kind of been doing music. So, I mean, I've been singing and writing songs and playing. I started playing piano when I was 5. So, like everything happened very, very young. Um, it's just something that I always wanted to do, and I would tell my parents, "Hey, I want to be a singer. I want to do this," and they're like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Go play with your toys."
Right, right.
But yeah, it just took me being persistent and letting them know, hey, I'm really serious about this. I don't know what I'm doing or how we even get into this. um but I have my influences that I've looked up to for forever, and I think one of those like turning points was Leanne Rhymes came out and she sang on the award show, the country
Hmm.
music awards or whatever. And I remember she was just a couple of years older than me at the time. I was like, well, heck, if she can do it, then I can do it. So let's
Hmm.
do this thing. And my mom's like, okay, yeah. I mean, I think that she was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to start. And so she was like, well, just, let me know that you're serious about this. And I'm going, well, I've only been telling you for like 10 years and I'm super serious. Um, so I go and I get in the phone book back when, phone books were a thing.
Sure, I
And
remember the days.
yeah,
I
yeah. So
remember
do
the yellow
I.
pages.
So I get in the phone book and I just start cold calling talent agencies, and I had no idea what I was doing at all. And
Really? Were you just like, "Hey, I'm a singer, and what do I do? Show where do I
yeah,
show up?"
yeah. I'm like, well, I was like, I was like, I'm very new. I'm very young. I want to get into the music industry. I don't know what to do. Help me,
Right.
And so I made a bunch of appointments. I showed the list to my mom the next day. Actually, no, that night. And keep in mind, I didn't even have phone privileges. I was a baby. she's like she's like, okay, I guess we're doing this. So yeah, that's where it kind of started. you know like we went to the library, we checked out every book we can find on the music industry. and just started reading and started talking to people and started going to, different like music mixers and, we joined all the organizations and all the things, and it just kind of evolved from there.
Wow. What was the first instrument you learned? At this point, you must have known how to play something if you were calling these people.
Yeah, so played piano since I was 5, and then I started playing fiddle when I was, I think I was like 12 or 13 when I started that, and then I actually didn't start playing guitar until I was 19.
Really? So
Mhm.
a little later on the guitar, but
Yeah, a
piano
little
at
later.
5. Do you still play piano?
I do. I don't really play. I don't play at my shows, which I'm trying to change that during quarantine. I was like, okay. So I grew up playing a lot of classical music.
Okay.
So, and I sing country music for a living. So it's like, okay, I got to figure out I got to
Blend
change
the
all of
two.
this. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So,
awesome.
yeah. So we're working it up to incorporate it into the show. So
Okay, so you started playing fiddle and piano, and then how old were you when you're cold calling these talent agencies? Around 12, 13?
12. Yeah.
Wow, and were you just like, "Hey, I can play piano and I can play fiddle." Were you writing songs at this point?
I was. And,
Oh,
I did.
wow.
I didn't even tell them that that I played any instruments. I just said I was like, I want to be a singer. And these people probably, because I've always had a very, like, my talking voice is very like, childlike. I think I always think that I sound like a kid, and so I can only imagine what these people were thinking when I'm cold calling these people, because I didn't tell them how old I was. I didn't tell them any of that. I'm just like, hey, I want to be a singer. What do I do? So yeah, it was interesting. A lot of those, I mean, some of them were just complete dead ends. Some of them we wasted like crazy amounts of money on, but I mean, you live and learn, I guess.
Sure, sure. So 19 is when you start playing guitar. What was the
Mhm.
reason why you started playing guitar?
I wanted to start playing guitar before I played piano. So when my mom was talking about, hey, do you want to do lessons? Do you want, what do you want to do? And I was like, yes, of course I do. But I wanted to play guitar because she had a guitar and my sister had a little guitar. And I was like, "That's what I wanna do," and she's like, "Oh, your fingers are too small. Let's learn piano first so you can learn theory, and it'll be easier going forward with any other instruments." I was like, "Okay," and it wasn't. I actually put the So when I started playing guitar, I actually put it down for an entire year after I bought it. I picked it up, I started trying to play it. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't get lessons or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
I'm completely self-taught. Um, I say completely. I've had a lot of like tips and pointers and from,
Right.
my guitar players and my bands and all that stuff. But
Sure. Other people teaching you how to play a couple chords, and then you
yeah.
obviously have to have that. It's not like you're gonna pick the guitar up and be like, "Oh, this is how you finger a G chord."
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I put it down for a little while because I got so frustrated because I thought that I had to learn all the scales and all the chords and
Mhm.
all the things. And my guitar player Danny Klotz, at the time, he was like, "Well, just learn to play one song that has like 2 or 3 chords and, get that down to where you can play and sing at the same time and then move on." And I'm so glad that he told me that because I got so frustrated with it. And normally I don't put anything down that I am bound and determined to do. Like I will stick with something
Mhm.
through, but I was like, I didn't know that you could set up the action and, adjust, how close the strings are to the neck or to the
Right.
fretboard and all of that. And so yeah, that got me very frustrated. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. But
Sure. Yeah, I know
but yeah.
it's intimidating when you first look at it. I poorly play guitar and I'm self-taught, but I had a neighbor that was like, "Here, this is how you play a power chord. Go to
Oh yeah.
town." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And then but my son, we just got him a guitar, my older son, and we put him in lessons. He actually has his first lessons tomorrow, so let's see how that
Ah.
goes. But I wanted to put him in lessons because it's like, yeah, I can teach you how to play. Like, I'm not good at guitar, so me teaching you how to play my poor version of playing guitar, like I can get by, but I'm
Yeah.
not like a guitar teacher by any means. So
Yeah.
I know what to buy and what to do, and I could do it, but it's like I can't teach you. I could like I showed him how to play a power chord, and I'm like, this is this, and then just practice smacking on it until this guy teaches you tomorrow.
Oh, that's great. How old is he?
He's 13, and I have a
13.
5-year-old who has drums, so we're gonna
Nice.
got a little, band, hopefully,
Yeah,
within the household, we'll see.
of course. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, okay. So you picked up guitar at 19 and you started playing, but prior to this, were you writing songs and recording and playing out at all, or
Oh
did
yeah.
that come later? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I started my first paying gig, I think I was 15 or 16.
Wow.
I made $14. You have to
Something.
start you have to start somewhere. But I people always ask me that, and it's funny. It's very humbling because like we're like seeing the progression from then and like all the things, I mean, I was not good back then. I was not good at all. And so like I always like knew how to sing and in pitch,
Uh-huh.
pretty okay. And um but it's just been a lot of hard work, and it's amazing to see that payoffs and see rewarded with really cool opportunities and traveling and really cool shows, and being able to meet a lot of really great people in the industry and people that like to listen to my music, so it's
Mhm.
very cool.
What would you say like the first success you had was?
Oh, the first success.
Not success, but you're talking about, different little milestones along the way. Was there one that sticks out to you as like kind of a turning point, as like one of the first ones?
So back in I was probably back in 2010. Oh, 2009, 2010 was
Mhm.
really, really, really good years for me. I had a record out that we were heavily promoting. I had a great publicist, Martha Moore. She was incredible. Um, I'll definitely work with her again in the future. But we traveled and we did a lot of radio stuff
Mhm.
in the U.S. And then we also went overseas several times during those years. And it was really cool being able to go. I'd never been overseas before. Um, we traveled all over Europe, and we opened up my listener base. So I still have people to this day that they've come to shows over there, and they reach out on social media. Some have even come to my shows in the US, which is wild to think about. But
Wow.
they're very, very cool, and they're so appreciative over there. They just eat up country music, and especially like me being from Texas, they think I ride around on a horse all the time. it's it's the funniest thing, but they're so cool. They're very, very sweet, and they want to know everything about you. And um yeah, that was really, I think, a turning point, being able to go over there, do that. I played a very amazing festival in France, um, the Country Rendezvous Festival. And so it was a 3-day event, and it was incredible. It was a really cool experience.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you won a CMA award, right? Around the same time?
Yeah, Texas CMA. So that was in 2000. I got to look at it. 15.
Okay.
Two, yeah, 2015. That was huge. That was a huge honor for me, definitely. And that was another really great year for me too. I had a song that I had out and was doing really, really well. We made it to number 27 on the charts, and that was a big deal for me.
That's huge.
Every little milestone. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the number ones, this," and I'm like, "Hey, I'll take what I can get." Like, I am
Mhm.
so thankful that that it did as great as it did. Um,
I mean, to land in the chart at all, right? I mean,
yeah, of
think of
course.
how many songs I heard something like can't remember the number, but it was some absurd amount of number of how many songs were released on Spotify every day. And I was
Oh,
like, it
it's
blew my
incredible.
mind.
Yeah, I talked to somebody the other day that used to work for Spotify, and we were like, he's like, "You realize how many people have?" I mean, just in the country market, it's crazy. It's
Mhm.
it's wild to think about.
Yeah, so to cut through all of that and make it 27, I mean, that's something not to be like, it doesn't matter, you're not number 1, right? At that point, it's like,
Yeah,
I'm 27th out of, X millions of people that have tried to make it to this.
yeah. That
So
was that. Yeah, it was cool.
that's really cool. Did that open doors for you? Bigger doors?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every little milestone, or every time we climb a little bit, higher up on the ladder, we get a lot more opportunities. And like I've been playing music for 21 years now for this
Mhm.
year, and it's like every year, like it's a very slow uphill climb, and it's awesome to see, those bigger opportunities and these, cooler events, and um just it's nice to be considered for those kind of things for
Mhm.
sure.
Sure. You released a record last year in 2020. Was that put out in the beginning of the year or
It was supposed to be released the beginning of the year, and because of COVID,
yeah.
we actually so we had Rewind that we were releasing. We were going to release the single, and then we were going to follow the album right after, because we had released several songs
Mhm.
off that record. And when we released that song, I was actually out of the country. I was in how I was all over the place. I was in Europe, I was in the Maldives, I was in Belize. But I got
Wow.
but I got
All
back.
doing music?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, I was doing but so we released it when I was gone, and then my radio promoter, started pushing it, and then I got back in, and then within like 2 days, I think the country was shut down. Like everything was canceled, like everything was I barely got back into the country. Um,
Where
it
were
was
you when it closed? Were you like in Belize or
I was in Belize, and when I was coming back, I was detained at the airport, and they were looking at my passport going, "You've been everywhere. Are you sick? Are you feeling okay?" I'm like, and I didn't really know what was going on, because I wasn't really watching the news. I wasn't really in a position to where I could.
uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I was traveling back, and then got in.
When wait, real
Um,
quick, I'm curious on the detain thing. So did they actually like make you stay in some hotel for period of time,
no,
or
no,
they
no, no.
just stopped you
They,
and were like, "Yo, like you've been around a lot. What's going
yeah,
on?"
yeah, I was just at the
Okay.
airport for a couple of hours. It wasn't like, okay, I made it sounded like, okay, it wasn't that big of a deal, but I mean,
But still, they need to
it's
be
kind of
stopped. That was,
freaky.
I'm sure that was scary. They're like, "You've been all
Yeah,
these places. Are you sick?" And then you're like, "I don't know. Am I?"
yeah, and then they searched my luggage, and then they went through all my stuff, and they're like, "Okay, I guess you can go." But yeah, so it was pretty interesting, and of course, like, I have terrible, terrible allergies all the time anyway, and, like, I was having an allergy attack, and they're like, "Do you
Oh
feel okay? Do you
man.
have a fever?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine, just let me go home."
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But
Now you
yeah,
hear somebody sneeze and you're like,
I
"Oh my!"
know.
Like, get away from me.
Well, I think the Saharan dust thing is a thing again right now too, like, especially, like, where we are, like, in Texas, and
Uh-huh.
my boyfriend, he's, like, completely he can barely see, his eyes are, like, watering, and he's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
it's like, "I can't go out in public like this." I'm like, "We'll just keep you home for now."
Yeah, there you go. Wow,
Yeah.
so you're detained or stopped and eventually you get home.
Yeah, eventually I get home, and, I think when I woke up on the 2nd day of being home, I got on, and they had canceled the rodeo. That's what it was. So they canceled the rodeo first, and I was like, "There's no way that they're going to do this. This is a joke. This is a somebody spreading rumors." And
Mhm.
I and of course, like, I'm in a lot of like rodeo committee groups and stuff like that. So like the president is the president of the rodeo association and all of that. He's on there. We see him talking, and the mayor gets on. I'm going, "Oh my gosh, this is insane." So so the rodeo, and I was supposed to play like a couple of days later, after they canceled, and so that was canceled, and then everything was shut down right after that. I think I played like 2 shows when I got back home, and then everything was.
That was the end of
And
it.
so yeah, and we kind of like we tried to keep pushing the single and for a little while, and everybody was working from home, and like the charts were
Focused on
all
the news.
frozen.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
nobody was really focused too much on what was going on entertainment wise. I mean, at
Yeah.
least in the first couple weeks, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so we're like, okay, we'll pull it. And so the record was supposed to follow, and we ended up releasing the record in July of last year, which that almost didn't happen too, because then there was a second round of shutdowns. They shut down a bunch of music venues again, and
Mhm.
then I got COVID.
Oh, you did? Oh my
I
gosh.
did. It wasn't really that bad. Like it was I was really, really tired, and I felt, yeah, very fatigued. I really didn't have any of the respiratory weird stuff
That's
until
good.
after I was recovered.
Really? It was like a
Yeah,
lingering thing?
I think so. I mean, because it really wasn't too bad. I mean, I stayed home, I did what I was supposed to, drank lots of fluids. But I have a friend that's a nurse, and she's like, "Go outside in your backyard and just lay out in the sun." And I did that, and I really think that that helped a lot. And then of course I had I have asthma too, so I
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
taking my like nebulizer treatments just as a
Uh-huh.
precautionary thing
Uh-huh.
in case there was anything weird. And I think that that probably helped too. So
Sure. My son has really bad asthma, my younger
yeah.
son. And I swear he had something funky in like December, and we were just giving him the nebulizer like,
Hmm.
religiously, and it went away, and it was like it wasn't until, February that it started bubbling up as this thing, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't know. It was weird, but like I'm glad that, that really helps. I think at least for our son too, is like once you're using that, it's like it's a
Yeah.
game changer. But well,
Yeah,
wow, I'm
for
glad you're all
sure.
right. That's crazy.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And so we did the whole quarantine period, and then we were able to make the release parties and all that kind of stuff. And so we got the record out there, and it's doing really well. We've had a lot of really great feedback from it. So I'm really, really excited about that. So but yeah, we got the new single out now.
Yeah, Dream is the new one.
We have
So
that out, and that'll be on the new record, Louder Than Words Volume 2, and so we'll release that next year.
cool. Is that done, or where are you at with that record? Because it sounds
Yep.
like the first one was finished
Mhm.
before COVID happened, and then was like a dream. Was that recorded, written, or anything during the past year and a half?
No, that one,
Okay.
I actually wrote that, quite a while ago. Both of the records have been done for a while. So,
Okay.
we have a couple things that we're gonna tweak on this second one. I think I'm gonna go re-record the vocals on one song, and then we'll release that, and I'm already working on the follow-up to that. So
A volume 3 or a different record?
no, no, just a different
I'm
record.
kidding.
No.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on the success of the album, and I can't wait to hear the second volume coming out, and I appreciate you doing this.
Of course, of course. Thanks for having me. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
I have one more question for you before I let you go. I want to know if you
Okay.
have any advice for aspiring artists.
I do. The music business is a very hard, cutthroat, crazy business. Toughen up your skin for sure. Be consistent. Make lots of friends. Be kind to people. You never know who you're going to come across and who is going to help you along down the road, for sure. So, I mean, always take new relationships that you meet with. You're networking and talking to people. Take those relationships as if, um, I mean, but you just stick them in your back pocket because you never know when you're going to need them one day, for sure. But
I
and be
love it.
consistent. Yeah.
Bringing it backward.